Hi guys, today we have Pong in C, and I'm gonna be explaining how to do it, how did I do it, and so let's go. We start by including our libraries. We're gonna be needing the Ncurses library. I can make a tutorial of how to install it on Linux later. We then also have to define some stuff, so I created this max size here if I need an array, and I also created two types, one for the pedals and another one for the ball and another one for the players. So we have the width, height, positions, and speed for all of them. I also made it so I can save the score in a file, and then let's go back. I included it as lib.h. So let's begin with the first function, which is colors. So we call this function StartColor, and it's a Ncurses function. We also have to check if the terminal supports color, and if it doesn't, it returns an error and closes the window. We then initiate all the color pairs. So in Ncurses, we have to create the color pairs that we want, and we number them. We have the background and the foreground. So the foreground is going to be the color of the letters, and we do it for all of them. So you can like mask in Ncurses. There are no sprites, so you have to use characters. So this way you can match the background and the foreground to create the illusion of a drawing. We're going to see it later. It returns 1 because it's an int function. So this is our way of defining the colors. So if I want another color pair, I just copy and paste this, change the numbers and the color pairs. Now let's go to drawing. So we create a function to draw the first pad. We have this atron color pair 6. This function is going to be applying the colors to whatever it is in the middle of the attrov and atron, meaning attribute on, attribute off. So we close the color pair here. So this is going to be drawing the first pad. So it's going to be doing it in a vertical position and putting these symbols here, so these bars. And then because the background and the foreground are the same color, we're not going to see the character, we're only going to see the color. And we do the same thing for this one. So the difference is it's on the other side of the screen, and it's going to be a different color. This one is going to be red, and this one is going to be blue. We're going to see it later. And then we can draw the edges. So we also have to initialize the colors here. What I did was I made half of the screen of blue, the borders blue, and then we have something in the middle, we're gonna see later, and then the other half of the screen is it's red, so it's to represent the two players, and we're passing as parameters the height and the width of the screen. I can show you guys later in the main how we do it. So we're going to divide it by 2 because we only want half of the screen to be drawn, and then we do the same for the other half. Okay. Now we have to have a line separating the middle, so I just created this. The function that we're using to draw on the screen in this instance is mv_add_character. So this takes a y coordinate, a x coordinate, and then takes the character. You cannot use double quotations here because it's gonna output a warning, so you have to do single ones. And we do the same for all of them. Also, we have to put the at on and the at off here. So this is to draw the field, right? Now we have to move the ball. So here we are incrementing we have the initial position x and y, and then we are incrementing it using dx dy. So basically that. So the variation rate, and we're also passing the ball as a pointer here, and then I have to draw the ball. Actually, I should have put this before, but it doesn't matter. So we do the same as in the other ones. We add a character, and this is not gonna be appearing because it's gonna be a square, because both colors are the same. We have the Y position and the X position. Then we have to check for the collisions. So here we are checking the collisions with the pads. So this is the player pad, and this is the other pad. I put CPU, but then I changed my mind because I didn't have time to implement the logic, so I just implemented it as the arrow keys. I kind of commented this out because it was conflicting with the other collisions, so this is unnecessary. Then we are checking all of the collisions here with the pads, with both sides, and then we are checking the collisions with the upper and lower boundaries of the screen. Here we are checking the collision of the ball, so we're drawing the ball and giving it collision, and this checks the collisions with the left and right boundaries. So this is where the user is going to get the points, right? So if we have like if the ball passes this threshold, it's gonna be incrementing a point for player 1 and here for player 2. We have to divide the screen in half, so you know it doesn't take the whole screen. Now this is going to be taking the frame rate that's going to be used in milliseconds. So it basically does the same thing, and it's going to be incrementing the speed of the ball, right? So now we check the collision of the pads with the upper and lower parts of the screen, because if not, you can just go down or up indefinitely, and then we return 0 to close it down. So let's go to the next one. It's the score. So we have all these parameters. We have the height and the width of the screen, because we want to put it in the middle, and we use these so we don't have to get it again. And then we pass the player structs as a pointer. We have a variable here that's going to be holding the values for player 1 and player 2. Now MV print double is the same kind of as MV add character, but it's going to be printing on a specific coordinate in the screen. And what Ncurses does, it creates a virtual window on the terminal, so we can refresh and do all that stuff. So we have to pass the coordinates, and to put the things we need, above or below, we have to divide by 4 or 5, whatever it is, your specifications. Now we want to resize the screen, so we need to have a constant here. So it's always going to be taking the measurements, and this is the x coordinate, so it's always going to be in the middle, and then we add this, so it's a little to the side, a little to the bottom, and whatever it is we want to put on the screen. So we have this formatter here, and it's going to take the point of the player. Then we need to save the score into a file. Here it's written in Portuguese because I speak Portuguese and I was using it at the time. We open a file and we put it to write, and then file scanf in this file, and then we put the point that is saved in this variable into the file. So once we run the game and player 1 scores, it's going to be saving it here. And we do the same for player 2. Whatever I write here is going to be in the middle of the screen. It's going to be in the file. Here is going to be in the middle. Right, so that's that. Now we need to get input, so we have a variable that's going to be holding the key that we press. So we have key up, it's going to increment, it's going to make the pad go up. So first is going to be, because here is the arrow keys, we're going to do the CPU pad first. I put this for the ball because sometimes I want to test the collisions and I don't want to wait for the ball to return, so I can change the direction of the ball if I need to. And here is for the second pad. And then we break. It's easier to do this way, works fine. And then we have the game loop, and here is where we define most of the stuff. So we initialize the screen, we put a C break here. I never remember what this does. I think I forgot what it does. I should have put a comment here. Then we have no echo because we don't want to have at every key that we press to be on the screen. We also don't want to have delay, and we want to enable the keypad. Now I should have taken this out because I get it again on main, but I kind of forgot to do it. But this is we can use this as a parameter here and define it in main. I should have done that. But we do it here as well. I think I was too lazy to change all the other stuff because then I would have to use it as a pointer. So here is where we create the pads. So we're gonna give it a height of 7. This is going to change how big or tall the pad is, the width. We also need the position Y, so it's gonna be in the middle of the screen. Oh, actually not in the middle of the screen because I need to initialize it in the middle, right? So we do it for both. They are pretty much the same. The only difference is we have to account on the second pad, we have to account for the fact that it needs to be on the other side. So we kind of subtract from the middle. We draw the ball, so we define the size of the ball, where it's going to be. So it's going to be in the middle of the screen again, and the speed. And then we initialize the player points with 0. And then in the main loop, we want to clear the screen and call all of the functions. So we draw the edges, draw the paddles, draw the CPU, draw the ball, move the ball. This is important. We have to first draw the ball and then move the ball. So it has to be this order. We check for the collisions and we get the inputs. This is going to change the background color. So it works the same as at on, but instead of applying to one thing, it's going to apply for the background of the screen only. And we can change the background color. And then we call the score and we refresh, and it's going to be running at 60 FPS. And then we close the window once this loop is finalized. And so let's go to main. In main, we have to do this again. So I could have, if I wanted, removed these from a game loop, but I kind of forgot. But here it is again. We call the function colors to initialize the colors. This is going to make it so the cursor is this blinking thing here, so it doesn't appear, so we're not going to see it. We clear, we change the background because this is necessary to have in both because we want the initial screen to be different. Now this is similar to MV print W, so the only difference is that it takes a string and we have the positions. I had to calculate this so it works, but if you want to use it, you can just copy this. It's gonna be a little off once you go full screen, but if you're using in a small screen, which is in my opinion the best way to play this specific game, it's going to be right in the middle, and then we have this little menu here, and then we refresh and we take the choice, and then whatever it is, we have case 1, which is going to call in the game loop, and then we have case 2, which is going to be instructions. So we'll use WSD for player 1 and arrow keys for player 2, and then press any key to return. We refresh, and there it is. This is the game. If you have any other thing, 3 is for closing the game, and if we have any other input, it's going to be saying it's invalid, and once it's done, we return and close the window. So now let's see the game running. So this is the game. We put it in the middle here. We can press 1 and it's going to, let's see the help first. Oh, wait a minute. I kind of changed this stuff for English. Now, to English actually. So we first go to help and use WSD for player 1 and arrow keys for player 2. Press any key to go back, press enter, press 1, and we start the game. So we can change this. It's gonna be in the center every time. Sometimes when it goes to the right, to the left, sorry, it goes randomly like that. I have to fix it. But it's working. It's kind of hard to play because it has a little bit of lag, but it works. So yeah, let's leave it here for a while and let's see what it's doing to the score. Oh, by the way, so we can see that here we have the upper bounds, and it's going to be blue to match the pad, so we can go up and it's going to collide. It's not gonna let you go up, it's not gonna let you go down, and it's kind of a neat thing to be watching, you know. I like it, and my dog is barking because she saw another dog, so you know. But it's working. Now let's see what it's doing to the file. Let's see if it's writing. So every time we have a point, it's going to be writing to the score. So we can do this, and it's going to change to 4. Now it's going to change to 2. And it works. So that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. Subscribe. Follow me wherever. I don't have any other socials to plug. And that's it. That's how you make Pong in C. Hope this was helpful. Bye-bye.